What's up, geometry students? Mr. Messer coming at you with homework 1.2 video. We're talking about angles now, but the way we kind of interact with them for this assignment is very similar to our first assignment with line segments, but with some extra terminology we have to pay attention to. We should already be familiar with the word bisect, which means like cut in half. That means equally. One half of our angle will equal the other's half of the angle in terms of its measurement. Some other words we should know are obtuse. Obtuse means bigger than 90. So we're going to write that down once my cursor comes back. And I'm literally just going to keep it simple, bigger than 90 degrees. We know that straight lines are 180 degrees. That's good to know. Right angles, 90-degree angles. These are all important things to know. Two complementary angles add up to 90. Two supplementary angles add up to 180. And like, if you know that, you know, like pretty much the geometric terms for today's lesson, but maybe we need to like be ready to set up equations that we have to solve. If I saw anything that we struggled in from the day one warm up, it was the set up and solve equations. Hopefully you did the day one homework and you were able to set up and solve equations. You're very good at solving equations, but setting up and solving equations was not your strongest, like the setup part. We got T in the interior of RSU. We like to just start with an angle. And if it's angle RSU, that means S is going to be what we call the vertex, RSU. We say T is in the interior. So here is T on the interior. We're not exactly sure if it's like halfway. May or may not split the angle in half, but we are told that angle TSU is 46.7. Angle RSU, this entire angle is 83.5. So if I ask for RST, many of you will know what to do with those two numbers, but I'm just going to challenge you. Could you set up and then solve an equation? I think this is what we are struggling with. Very much like middle school math would be to just get the number, like do the correct operations, but like being prepared for more complicated things, maybe it's easier to say X plus 46.7 degrees equals 83.5 degrees. And knowing, oh yeah, we have to subtract those two numbers. Many of you are going to be right away, but maybe this is going to help us for more complicated questions down the road. What is this? 82, 15, 8. $46, 50, 36. Okay, so 36.8. If you use a calculator, do that, great. Seven plus 8 is 15. 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, good. Okay, so moving forward, sorry for taking so long. Maybe for number one, you didn't have to set up the equation. You just knew to subtract the two numbers. But for number two, like important, RST, SP bisects RST. RST. Here's angle RST. RST. Here's angle SP. SP. Bisects, cut in half equally. RSP is 3x minus 2. PST is 9x minus 26. Now here's the key, guys. Like, it's harder. You can't just figure it out by looking, but we can set up and solve an equation. Since it's bisects, this and this are equal to each other. I'm going to set these two equations equal to each other. I will then have to solve for x, and then I will then have to plug it back in, make sure that they're equal to find the angle measurement. So let's see, what would be the easiest? I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. We get 6x. I'm going to add 26 to both sides. So I get 6x equals 24. Divide by 6, x equals 4. And there we go. If x is 4, that's not my answer. We got 12, 11, 10. We got 36 minus 6, 26, which is 10. RST T is RSP plus PST. That must be 10 plus 10, which is 20 degrees. Or, like, let's say that didn't make sense to you. You could say, this is very similar to what a lot of students were struggling with in my class. You could say, RST's got to be equal to 3x minus 2 plus 9x minus 26. You know, like, you can add those two equations together and set it equal to something else. Here, we know that x is 4. So you'd be able to see it's like 10 plus 10, which is 20 degrees. This is the answer. It's not x equals 4, it's 20 degrees. Could you have gotten 20 degrees in different ways? Of course. But get used to creating and solving equations in this class. We should be comfortable with 90 degrees being right angles. We know that from middle school. Smaller angles, smaller degrees. This looks like this is like the smallest. I don't super love this question. I mean, it's just like interesting, but not necessarily. Obtuse, greater than 90, but less than 180, I think, is what we were going to say obtuse is. And 180 is a straight line. If we go past the straight line, which just happens here, then we'd be beyond 180 degrees. So this is why I know this is 225. We compare these two, and it looks like this is the bigger angle here than this angle here. Not super important, this, just like, do you understand angle measurements? It's okay. This is 30, this is 70. All three of them have to equal 180. Could you figure this out quickly with a calculator? Sure. I'm going to try to get you to be able to be like, oh, well, this angle, which I don't know, plus this angle equals 180 degrees because it's a straight line. Set up an equation, solve said equation. Same side combined. So many of you are so good at this. Could you do this in a different way? Could this be a lot easier? Yeah, sure, it can. Could you get this answer right away? Sure, you can. But maybe this will help you in the long run, because I know you all really struggled setting up equations. I like to say obtuses are bigger than 90. I think maybe we're talking about bigger than 90 and less than 180. So, like, what happens if 5x plus 45 was equal to 90? Well, you could solve this equation. And you get x equals 9. Great. Okay. let's say obtuse angle. I like to just say it's bigger than 90, but if we're saying it's between 90 and 180, then 5x plus 45 equaling 180 means 5x equals, subtract 45. That's going to be 135, 7, 6, 5, 4. Divide that. That's 2, leaving 35, 20. 27. Cool. So I'd say 9 is the smallest number, 27 is the largest number, if we're saying that an obtuse angle is bigger than 90 and less than 180. But I don't know. I would say an obtuse angle is just bigger than 90. So that includes like bigger than 180. So x has to be bigger than 9, but also less than 27 or less than or equal to 27. Let's ask your teacher that, and I'll ask the teacher that, or we say x is bigger than 9. It's either this as my answer or this. Not sure. Okay, same thing. You could probably guess, figure this out. Maybe let's like set up an equation and solve. Q is an interior of PRS. I'm going to draw a picture. Here's PRS. And PRS is right. So I'm going to draw a right angle. PRS, Q being in the interior. PRQ is 4 times as large as QRS. So ready? QRS is some unknown. PRQ is 4 times that unknown. It's 4 times as large. What is PRQ? Well, I know that, and this is try to set up and solve an equation. What do you get? A lot of you are probably thinking I got to multiply here, but really it's like 4x plus x has to equal 90 degrees. 5 x's have to equal 90 degrees. X has to equal, what is that? 18? 90 divided by 5. If you have a calculator, great. I don't. 18? Cool. If x is 18, that means PRQ is 4 times 18. Whatever that is, let's just do it. 72. This is the answer we're looking for. This just happens to help us get the answer. If 2 complementary angles are equal, what is the measure of each angle? Well, if you have angle 1 and angle 2 equal to each other, and you don't know what angle 1 is, well, angle 1 and angle 2 have to both be the same. So you'd be like, and again, you all know that this is 45 degrees. I'm just showing you algebraically how we get this answer. We get that x plus x has to equal 90 degrees, or we get that doubling my first angle is 90 degrees. We know that that means that x is 45. Cool. Last question. Again, can you set up and solve an equation? Not really just figure it out. Please try to do that. Supplementary equaling 180 degrees. A, B, C, and D, E, F. A, B, C is 4 times D, E, F. Well, like Let's say DEF is X. If DEF is X, then ABC would have to be 4 times X. If ABC plus DEF are supplementary, well then, here's an equation that helps us find what they are. You could also like say, hey, here is a straight line. Here is ABC. Here's DEF. I don't know what this is, the smaller angle, but I know this angle is 4 times the size of the smaller angle. You have to add them together to get 180 degrees. 5 of these x's is 180 degrees. X must equal whatever that is. 36. Is that right? Okay. Hope this was okay. We are starting our construction project as well, which is just like trying to get you to be a geometer and a measurer without the use of a ruler, a creator. And please come in if you have any questions. Hopefully this was good, and we'll see you out there. Peace.